Netgear Nighthawk M6 promises 5G up to 2.5 Gbps with Wi-Fi 6 that blankets your space and replaces sketchy public hotspots. Either we've reached true cable-killing freedom or we're staring at another hotspot hype train. On paper it's wild. Wi-Fi 6 rated at 3.6 Gbps, connect up to 32 devices, 13-hour battery, a 1 gig Ethernet jack, and in-home performance mode claiming up to 2000 SQ/FT when you pull the battery. Unlocked for AT&T, T-Mobile, and for many, Verizon. But here's the thing, the fine print and physics always show up. I ran this for 2 weeks across T-Mobile, AT&T, and a Verizon data plan, used it as my primary internet for 4 days, and stressed it with 20 devices. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 2 weeks of testing. Here's what the M6 claims to do. Turn 5G into fast, secure Wi-Fi anywhere, deliver Wi-Fi 6 for up to 32 devices, act as a legit home backup with 1 gig Ethernet, and run up to 13 hours on a charge. Sounds killer, right? The Amazon page shows a 3.8 rating and a current price around $411.33, which puts it squarely in serious gear territory. Pretty bold claims for a mobile router. But here's where things get interesting. They claim 5G speeds up to 2.5 Gbps. Reality check, that's the cellular modem's theoretical max under perfect sub-6 conditions with tons of carrier aggregation. The M6 uses Qualcomm's Snapdragon X62, which is great, but it's sub-6 only in the US, no wave. In real-world mid-band 5G, you'll typically see 100–800 Mbps depending on tower load and bands. In my tests, best case on T-Mobile N41 mid-band, I hit 620 Mbps down, 70 up in a strong signal zone. AT&T C-band gave me mid-400s. Verizon C-band hovered 300–500 once provisioned. That feels fast, but nowhere near 2.5 Gbps. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible. Even if the modem hit 2.5, the Ethernet port is 1 gig, and Wi-Fi 6 here is 2x2. So a single client tops out around 1.2 Gbps link rate and 700–900 Mbps real throughput at best. So the headline number is a ceiling you won't touch for a single device. They claim safer and more powerful than a phone hotspot. What you actually get is a legit improvement. Dedicated radios, better range, WPA3 security, and you don't fry your phone battery. I connected 18 devices simultaneously during a test day and my phone would have cried. The M6 handled it, though throughput per device dropped once we started multiple 4K streams and big downloads. That's normal. 32 devices is connection count, not a promise that everyone gets 500 Mbps at once. They claim 2000 SQ/FT of Wi-Fi coverage. The plot twist, you only get that in-home performance mode with the battery removed and the power adapter plugged in. On battery, the unit runs warmer and will throttle radios to manage thermals. In my 1800 SQ/FT townhome, wall-to-wall battery and performance was strong for about 1200–1400 SQ/FT, with edge rooms dropping to 2.4 GHz and speeds dipping under 100 Mbps. Plugged in with the battery out, coverage improved a tier and speed stabilized. They say unlocked for all providers and certified for AT&T and T-Mobile. But wait, there's more. Verizon can be hit or miss. Some IMEIs activate fine on a Verizon data-only plan. Others require a trip through support or a SIM swap from an existing Jetpack line. I had to use a Verizon 5G tablet plan SIM to get full access. Not a showstopper, but it's not always plug and play. Also, this is made for US bands, don't expect global roaming magic. They say up to 13 hours of battery. Reality, it depends. With 2 laptops browsing and a phone on Wi-Fi calling, I saw 11–12 hours in strong signal. With 10 devices, a Teams call, and a 20 GB Steam download chugging in the background, I got 7 hours. If you're camping on N41 or N77 with weaker signal, expect heat and shorter runtimes. That removable battery design is great for swapping, but for stationary use, yank it and run wall power for stability. Here's where things get interesting. External antennas. The M6 hides 2 TS9 ports under rubber flaps. In a rural test, slapping on a 2x2 MIMO panel aimed at the tower took T-Mobile from 40 Mbps to 180–220 Mbps. Marketing doesn't shout about this, but it's the difference between okay and great in fringe areas. Speed and radios. The X62 modem with 5G SA, NSA, and LTE fallback is solid. I saw consistent carrier aggregation on LTE when 5G vanished, keeping me online at 8150 Mbps. What the marketing doesn't mention. Wi-Fi 6 here is 2x2, not 4x4 like high-end mesh. That's fine for a hotspot, but don't expect enterprise AP range or multi-gig Wi-Fi. Battery life and thermals, here's what nobody tells you. The M6 runs warm under sustained 5G mid-band loads. Inside a bag, speeds sagged after 30-40 minutes until I gave it airflow. On a desk with the battery out, it maintained higher throughput. Netgear's in-home mode is more than a label. It changes the thermal dynamics and helps the radios breathe. Build and ports. It feels sturdy with a grippy back and a bright 2.4-inch touchscreen. The 1 gig Ethernet port works both for feeding a single device or uplinking into your home router or mesh as WAN. USB-C tethering to a laptop gave me near gig speeds with lower latency than Wi-Fi. 2 TS9 antenna ports are clutch for rural users. SIM is nano, no wave here, that's M6 Pro territory with 2.5G Ethernet. Software and controls. Setup is genuinely easy and the LCD shows data usage, SSID, and signal. The Netgear app is fine for basics. The web UI is better for advanced settings. You don't get deep band locking knobs like Pro Gear, but you can tweak channels, security, and Ethernet standby. User feedback. Amazon's 3.8 rating lines up with my take. Praises. Faster and more stable than phone hotspots, strong speeds on mid-band 5G, handy Ethernet. Complaints, heat, battery life under heavy load, and Verizon activation headaches. I dug through carrier forums and Netgear threads. These patterns are consistent. Verdict, buy with caution. If you need a secure, portable 5G router for travel, RV life, remote work, or as a home backup that won't die when cable hiccups, the Nighthawk M6 delivers strong real-world speeds and better reliability than tethering your phone. For $411.33, it's not cheap, but the value is there if you'll actually use the Ethernet port and in home mode. Skip this unless you're on AT&T or mid-band or you're willing to wrangle Verizon provisioning. Save your money for the M6 Pro if you need 2.5G Ethernet or Wave. Otherwise, the M6 is worth it if you go in eyes open about thermals, battery, and realistic speeds. Stay savage out there. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got questions about antennas, carriers, or using this as primary internet? Drop them below and tell me what to test next. Next up, I'm pitting this against the Inseego MiFi X Pro and a Peplink travel router. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Keep your tech sharp and your Wi-Fi smarter.